Hey there, it's Aditi. And if you are struggling, or if you have been struggling another week, or you are in the future, I want to give you permission to take a mental health day for yourself. I feel like this is starting to become a little bit more common, but maybe not completely. You may feel guilty at the idea of taking some time for yourself. But sometimes this is exactly what our spirit needs. I have been going through my own thing in this past week, and I literally was struggling so much to the point where I was like, I have to shut down because what happens is when we don't do it, it can end up negatively impacting our health if we're not taking care of whatever is going on for us. So it will look different for everyone because everyone has different lifestyles, different experiences. So really think about how you can do this for yourself in a way that would work for you and your life. For me, I decided that I needed to cancel all of my calls and I just couldn't do it. And I haven't really done that in a long time. And I knew that I felt bad about it. I had all these feelings about it, but I just knew that it was what I needed to do to take care of myself. Otherwise, who knows what could happen if I didn't do that. Um, so I ended up canceling all my calls. I ended up opening up my schedule. So what you want to do is really just create space for yourself. Create space for yourself to just be, and nurture your spirit during that time. You can take care of your body. You can sleep, get some extra sleep in, watch something uplifting. I actually ended up watching a documentary about Buddha and suffering. And I was just really in my throes of my own emotional suffering. And watching a documentary about suffering was actually super helpful. I thought about how suffering is really the one thing that we all experience as humans. It's not something that we can really run away from. And how can we nurture that relationship? How can we shift that relationship that we have with suffering? Because it's not something that we can essentially escape. So if you're taking a mental health day for yourself, think about what you need in that moment, right? And it might be different every time depending on what you're going through. But the most important thing is really being able to create that space for yourself to feel all the feels, to allow yourself to go into those places in your mind, into those places where you are maybe dying inside, right? Just giving yourself that attention that you really need in this moment. And like I said, watching something uplifting or even just a movie that you can get lost in sometimes. I can't tell you how many things I've watched this week, and it has been honestly really nurturing. Coming out of it a few days later, I feel a little bit more full inside, a little bit more whole inside. I feel a little bit more grounded. And I really just needed to shut out. And I invite you to do that, even if you just have 2 hours to shut out. Do what you need to do. Sometimes that even means sitting in your car a little bit longer before you go inside the house if there's people there, right? Or sitting inside before you step into the supermarket, just having some moments with yourself. And that can be difficult when you're not used to being with uncomfortable emotions. But if you can just allow yourself to be with it and tell yourself that you are safe, because why we run away from our emotions is because we think we're going to die. But you're not going to die. You're just needing to feel some things right now. I also watched a documentary, or it was an interview with Panache Desai, and he talked about how nature doesn't question itself. Nature just exists. So how can we exist? You know, we are the only species that continuously overanalyzes, overthinks, and overdoes in our mind. A rock doesn't question its existence as a rock. It just exists as a rock. And I found that to be so profound. And I was like, wow, really, a lot of suffering does come from, a lot of shoulds, a lot of what we think we should be doing, where we think we should be at, a lot of comparison, beating ourselves up, not feeling like we are where we want to be, or just feeling crappy about what is, right? But what if we didn't question it? Like, that was just a beautiful insight that I gained from this week, from all the TV and uplifting stuff that I had been watching. And it doesn't even always have to be uplifting. Sometimes you need to watch a movie that is making you cry, because you just have to let the emotions come through you. And Panache talked about that. He said we have to let emotions wash through us, because they're not meant to be stuck in us, they're meant to move through us. Sometimes we don't even need to know why we're feeling sad. We get caught up in this needing to know what's going on. But sometimes we just have to allow the sadness to wash through us, and we don't need to know why. So, this, my friends, is your permission slip to go ahead and take that mental health day for yourself. If you are struggling, if you are feeling depleted, if you're feeling like you just need some space, it makes a huge difference. Take the time you need. Don't feel guilty about it, because you don't want it to end up in actually a crisis or tragic situation because you didn't slow down and just nurture yourself in the moment when you knew you needed it most. Remember, when you fill up your cup, you can serve and give from a deeper and greater place. Love you guys so much. I am leading a self care summit coming up soon. The information will be out next week. If you want more information on it, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.